have you ever experienced racism in Japan?
I mean,
I definitely feel like people looks at me sometimes.
no, they just like.
I think so.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Takashi from Japan. Today I'm going to interview with foreigner in Japan. Have they ever experienced racism in Japan? Let's go. Okay, thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure.
Where are you from?
France.
France.
Mhm.
Wow, that's cool.
Never been to
Okay,
France.
so you live in Japan
Yeah, for 2 years now.
for 2 years. Okay, cool.
Just before COVID.
Just before COVID.
So it was pretty.
Like 2019 then.
Yeah.
So what do you do in Japan?
Nothing really. Like
Nothing really.
I was a student for 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Then I did woofing. You know what woofing is?
Roofing.
Woofing is like
Woofing?
I'm helping in
Helping farm.
farmers,
Ah,
For free?
For free?
and then they give me food and a bed. You know. So I did this in Hokkaido this summer, and I met somebody really cool. And then I'm going back there to work for the winter in the ski station.
So like
I'm wandering around, like, yeah, this place is cool, this place is cool. I want to go there. So it's pretty cool.
I think it's really cool. Like yeah,
I'm looking at a bit of money on the side,
yeah.
so I don't have to work for a living.
So you make foods to eat. Right, like that, right? Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's it like being a foreigner in Japan?
There is two sides of the coin. Like, one,
yeah.
they forgive you if I don't have my mask, if I cross at red lights, or if I do stuff just slightly impolite, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
That's cool for this part is cool, but the other part is they're a bit scared.
scared.
Yeah, and I'm foreigner, so I don't know. They're a bit scared of me.
Oh, I see.
and-
Yeah, I think in Japan, like even like if you don't wear a mask, like nobody like telling you,
nobody
right?
Say to me
Yeah.
anything. So that's my gaijin pass,
Yeah.
Sometimes you can use your gaijin pass and like, okay, I'll just do it this way and nobody will say you anything. But yeah, they can be a bit, I don't know. You'll never be Japanese. Even if you live for a long time in Japan, you speak Japanese and you have Japanese wife, I don't feel like I'll be Japanese.
Oh,
But I don't really want to.
really. You didn't?
Yeah. I like being French and to have my own approach.
Yeah.
I don't have to use tatemae all the time and can say what I think. So I want to keep my French side.
I see. Have you ever experienced racism in Japan?
Not really.
Not really.
No, they just like when you go to onsen,
Yeah.
you see people looking at you. Like, oh, it's funny. Checking you, all of them, But it's okay, just like checking fact and not really direct racism. Like in places like no gaijin, I did not have this kind of experience.
Not like that. How about like train? I think people like worry about like when you're sitting on the train, like nobody like sitting next to you.
I
Like,
don't understand that. I don't know if it's polite or if they're scared of me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
at the beginning I was upset, but now I don't care.
Oh.
It's so nice to have space in
Yeah,
the subway. So
You're
I'm
so
glad,
positive.
Yeah.
Last question. You speak Japanese?
A bit.
A bit.
大阪に日本語学校行ったけど、
1年です。
1年だけ。けど学校はめんどくさい。めっちゃめんどくさいだから行きたくないでもだから悪学祭ね。
じゃあ日本語の勉強はあんま好きじゃなかった。
勉強好きじゃない。けど漢字は一番めんど
漢字
くさい。
は
漢字できない。
え
全然できない。
実際でも日本に住むのに日本語の能力って必要ですか？
わからなかった。
like you need to learn Japanese if you want to live in Japan or not?
Not necessarily. Especially in Tokyo.
Yeah,
Tokyo
right.
is easy.
Yeah, it's
Everything
really
is in English, everything is in Romaji, so it's cool. Osaka is a bit harder.
It's harder.
Yeah. Not a lot of people speak English. And of course, Hokkaido is like
yeah,
master level, like nobody
I
speak
see,
English
I
at all. So depends on what you want to do. For me, just wandering around, it's okay.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so interesting. Thanks so much. Thank you for time with me. So where are you from?
I'm from Ireland.
Ireland,
Yes.
next to England.
Next to England, yes.
And you live in Japan
No, I'm visiting Japan for a month.
for a month.
Yes.
how long have you been here?
I think it's been about 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes.
Approximately here.
Well, my mother is Japanese, so she lives in Japan, and I've been living in Ireland for the past 6 years. So I thought I'd visit her finally after a while. Yeah.
That's really cool. That she living here, Tokyo.
Yes.
What's the most surprising thing when you come to Japan?
The manner of the people, I think. You know, everybody bows and they say thank you and irashaimase and everything, and I just love the respect that they have to the customers.
Yeah, I think that's really different from other countries. Like when I visit to like some other Asian country, and then like when I went the convenience shop, and then they were sitting.
Yeah, they're just on their phones and they're just sitting down.
Yeah,
and
that was so surprising for
Yeah.
me. You know? There's a question: what do you do in Japan? But you're visiting.
just visiting, yeah.
Visiting. Oh, but what do you do in general?
Just spending time with my mom at home and just eating food, eating all the okashi I bought.
Oh.
Yes. So just not really, just relaxing because I've been very busy in Ireland, so I need to relax.
What's it like being a foreigner in Japan?
Especially after COVID, I think they see less foreigners around because nobody visits here. So I definitely feel like people looks at me sometimes, and especially I have blonde hair. So, you know, I don't feel like I'm part of them. I definitely feel like they look at me as a foreigner, not Japanese. But, you know, I haven't had any racist experience here anyways. So I think it's still great here, and people, you know, all the girls, they look at me and they're like, oh, you're so beautiful, and just because I'm gaijin. So I think it's a great experience here. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, good to hear that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you speak Japanese,
Yes.
right? Because your mother is Japanese.
Half Japanese, yeah.
So like,じゃあ日本語でいきますか。
日本語いけます。
でもアイルランドにずっといたんですよね。
6年間いました。
日本はその前に。
その前まで生まれてから16年間日本いました。
それが大阪。
神戸です。
神戸です。
はい。
なるほど。だから。
第一カ国は一応日本語なんです。
なるほど。今何歳ですか？
22です。
22ってことは、じゃあ10代の後半くらいからずっとあっち。
そう高校生くらいからあっちに行ってます。
日本に戻ってくる予定とかってないですか？そのビジットじゃなくて。
帰国ですか？
は
帰国はないですね。ない。本当もうなんか旅行だけ。なんか日本の生活とは合わないなって思って。そうなんかもう都会とかがなんかすごいなんか自然がないのがちょっと心地悪くて私に。
Okay, thank you so much. So thanks for time with me. Where are you from?
I'm from Australia.
Australia. In Australia, Christmas is summer, right?
Right, that's right. Yeah.
How you guys spending on Christmas days?
Are we playing Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, we certainly don't have chicken from KFC. We don't do that shit. No, I mean, like in Australia, it's like more of like a beach holiday, right? It's the middle of summer.
Beach holiday.
Yeah. So it's like pretty normal to go to the beach, go surfing, go swimming, like.
On Christmas Day.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like most public holidays in Australia are an excuse to drink. Australia Day, Easter, Christmas, we just get days off when we get really drunk, and that's like the whole purpose. So. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Like, how does it feel like Christmas in winter, like in Japan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like here it's kind of weird because it's like, it doesn't feel fake necessarily, but it's like it's a really weird holiday because obviously, you know, Christmas isn't a Japanese holiday, but they really love the aesthetic and like that impression of Christmas. But it's like that weird like Japanese version of it, like the famous thing is the KFC, right? Where like they order that because it feels like a Christmas meal. It's got the chicken, the roast chicken and stuff. But like, who the fuck wants to have KFC for Christmas, right? Like, what a weird fucking experience. But yeah,
That's really interesting. Okay, so you live in Japan.
that's right. I live around the corner.
You live in Japan. And what's the most surprising thing when you come to Japan?
Most surprising thing, I think, yeah. So I guess there's like two things. One is the technology thing. Everyone thinks that Japan is really super ahead of its time,
Yeah,
but
right.
once you move here, once you have to get your residence card and you have to work with the government, like there's always 10 paper forms and all this bureaucracy, and there's always like 1,000 paper steps, which.
There's lots of paperwork.
Yeah, and then of course, like as far as adoption for technology elsewhere, I think people are typically surprised to find that businesses here still use fax. And they will still send faxes, and that they don't send emails, and it's like horribly inefficient. So I think that's probably the most surprising thing, I guess.
Okay, so have you ever experienced racism in Japan?
I mean, Yeah, but not in a way that's like that big of a deal. I mean, I think a lot of it comes from just like ignorance, I suppose. And it's different for me being white. It's like a very different thing to someone else, right? Like I've seen people be racist in Japan, but typically it's to like other Asian countries. You know what I mean? Like people in Japan, but it goes both ways, right? Like I've spent a lot of time in China too, and it's like some of the most awful racist shit I've ever heard in my life has been about like people in Asia talking about other people in Asia as opposed to necessarily talking about black or white people. So to be honest, like it doesn't really happen to me. It doesn't really faze me. You know, and like the worst thing that happens to a white guy is like they'll give you chopsticks. Sorry, they'll give you like a fork instead of hashi at a committee. You know what I mean? Like it's the worst racism you experience. It's like not a big fucking deal, right? So yeah, I mean, me personally, nothing that's like serious. No.
Oh, so like not really actually then.
Not really, no. And like I said, you know, I've got a lot of friends from like other parts of Asia, and they have way worse times than I do. So it seems almost silly to complain, I guess.
You speak Japanese?
ちょっと。
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 ちょっと。なんかどうやって学びましたか？どうやって勉強しましたか？
Oh no, I'm not gonna 勉強しました like a little bit. I mean, the problem is that in the circles that I'm in, I've got a lot of friends that are sort of international Japanese, so I don't get to practice it. So like my Japanese is pretty good for things like ordering beer and food because I get to practice it every day. But when I'm hanging out with like my girlfriend or whatever, like her English is so good, it's like I don't really need to practice Japanese. It's my fault. I should definitely learn. I think that's the biggest mistake I ever made was that I didn't spend enough time learning it because it just makes it way harder to get into the country, get into things. And like, I'm kind of cheating because I have so many Japanese friends that just kind of do the work for me kind of thing. But I wish that I'd learned it better. But it's a hard language to learn.
Actually, you live in Japan like without learning Japanese, right? To be honest.
That's right. Yeah, I've been here almost 5 years. Yeah.
Almost 5 years.
Yeah, and I still don't have that good at Japanese. Yeah.
Like how level is it like?
I mean, like I speak enough to get by, like to get seats, make reservations, this kind of shit. Like when it comes to like booking and that kind of thing. But yeah, like I can't have like an in-depth, complicated conversation about like business or anything, you know, like that. And like the idea of learning keigo is like such a foreign concept that I don't ever want to learn that shit. Right? Like that's way too complicated. Like even Japanese people struggle with keigo.
Yeah,
right?
actually, yeah. We still struggle. Yeah, to be honest,
if you guys don't know how to speak, because like I'll always ask Japanese friends like, "What's this kanji?" And they'll be like, "I have no idea."
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
like if you don't know, how am I supposed to know? So yeah, I don't really care.
Right. Okay. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you for having me. So you from America?
I'm American, yeah.
Which state in America?
Virginia.
Virginia. Okay, so you live in Japan.
I do. I live in
How long have you been here?
since January of this year.
Also, not a month yet. Not a year yet.
Not a year yet.
What's the most surprising thing when you come to Japan?
I knew like coming to Tokyo, being a foreigner, people would like stare at you. ちょっと like 目立つって感じ. But I didn't expect like everybody to
See you.
Yeah. I thought there would be more foreigners in Tokyo.
Oh, like when you on the street, like
Yeah.
like everybody look at you.
Yeah, and I feel like Japanese people, like the way they dress in Tokyo, like everyone is like wears the same type of clothes, like not very colorful and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was expecting there to be more like Harajuku keiとか.
What do you do in Japan?
I'm a university student.
You're a university student.
Yes.
Which you?
Temple University.
Temple University is it's in Setagaya, right? Because I live in
Yeah.
Setagaya.
I live in Setagaya too. Yeah, it's
Oh,
in
really?
Setagaya. Yeah.
That's what a coincidence. What's it like being a foreigner in Japan?
Sometimes it's hard, especially if your Japanese isn't that good. But I think for the most part, Japanese people are very kind and very welcoming, and I'm really glad that I moved to Japan. I would recommend it to anybody who wants to try something new. I think it's a
You recommend it?
おすすめです.
That's really cool. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so the other part, have you ever experienced the racism in Japan?
I think so, but I'm not really sure if it was like bad intention. Like for example, I think some people look at me and Japanese people look at me and they think that I don't know how to speak Japanese. In Japanese, talking about me, they'll be like, "Oh, この子見て、服見て." Like, who does she think she is? That kind of thing. But I think it's that, and then also sometimes when I'm on the train, like even if the train is full, there's always an empty seat next to me because nobody wants to sit next to a foreigner, I think.
So you speak Japanese, right?
だけです。はい。
なんかてかまだ 1月に来たんですもんね。ってことはまだ1年
前に勉強したから、
アメリカで。
はい、
どんぐらい勉強されてた？
3年から、
その時ってなんか日本人の人と話したりとかってのはしてたんですか？
あまりないですね。なんかバージニア州で日本人はあまりいないんだからちょっと大変だったんですけど、
自分の一人でまあある程度の能力つけて日本に来たって感じですか？
そう、
Like me in English。
自分で勉強した。
そう行ったことないんで海外。その欧米圏とか行ったことないんで。Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks for watching. I forgot shooting ending of this video, and so I'm shooting now at my place here. And how was it? That was really interesting. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click the like button and please subscribe to my channel. And please follow my Instagram and then TikTok. See you next time.